Selamat welcome. I just noticed that I never actually explained to you how to play the Aurora combo. So, in today's video, Mas Bule Mind's gonna teach you the ins and outs of the Aurora combo. The basic combo, the combo pieces, what to look out for, and stick around to the end for the absolute maximum damage dream combo that you can pull off with the Aurora deck that I posted down below. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Combo. And in my previous video, I didn't really explain what is the Aurora combo. So for those of you who are not well versed in Aurora yet and you want to learn what she's capable of, here I give you the Aurora combo explanation. So basically, the combo revolves around the card Gone in a Flash, where if you play an instant during this chain link, you can bounce it back to your hand. So how is that a combo? So we're running instants in the deck that are beneficial. For example, Blink, you can get your action point, an extra action point while playing Blink, and you get Gone in a Flash back. But do keep in mind when you play these instants that you play them at the resolution step, which is after damage. Because if you play this before damage step, the Gone in a Flash will ask you, you want to turn me to hand now? Which if you say you do, you don't get to do the damage. And if the Gone in a Flash had go again, for example, from embodiment, you don't get to get the action point back because you never reached the resolution and link step where you get your action point back if the card had go again. Because if you return it before damage, the combat chain closes without achieving or completing those other steps. So the most basic combo is having your tunic on 3 and then using that to pay for your lightning reeves, so you can keep all 4 or 5 cards in your hand plus arsenal. And the combo is just basically play Gone in a Flash, play any of these instants, either EMS, either of the 2 sigils, or Blink, or other instant that you might have at the resolution step, which is after damage. This is important. And then you get the action point back from your boots. So it doesn't matter if your Gone in a Flash did not have go again, you get the action point back from the instance having go again due to the effect of lightning greaves. And when you play the instant, the Gone in a Flash asks you whether you want to put it back to your hand or not. You say yes, and then it goes back to your hand. The instant resolves, their effect happens. For the sigils, they go on the board, and for Blink or the other instance, they happen. For example, Blink, you get an extra action point. And then with it now Gone in a Flash is back in your hand, you play it out again, and you play another instant at the resolution step again. So you can see the basic combo requires 1 Gone in a Flash and at least 2 instants for it to be considered a combo, and you can weave in your other non-instant cards in between this while you still have the action points before you finally decide at the end whether you want to play out the Gone in a Flash again if you still have an action point left, or you can arsenal it for your next turn. That is the basic Gone in a Flash combo. Next up, I'm going to talk about some cards that work well or interact with the combo. So this, we have 4 or 5 cards here that I want to talk about briefly and how they interact with the combo. So in the previous slide, I had these instants that basically do nothing aside from returning Gone in a Flash back to hand. But this one, Electrostatic Discharge, this is the best instant that we want to see on our combo turn, because not only does it return the Gone in a Flash to hand, it gives our next 1 cost or lower attack +3, which applies to Gone in a Flash if we play it again. So this is the best instant. You kind of want to combo when you see like Gone in a Flash and like 2 of these. You know you really want to combo because that's going to be 4 and 7 and 7, which is a ton of damage for only 3 cards. And next up is Blast to Oblivion. If you're leaning heavy into the combo, running this makes you able to extend your combo, especially if you're on sigils, and if when you're not actually comboing, Blast has the upside of being able to reset your Channel Lightning Valley. For example, if you already paid the channel cost last turn, now it has 1 counters and you're not going to be able to pitch 2 lightnings this turn. If you have Blast and an instant, you can return that Channel Lightning Valley that would have died because you couldn't pay the channel cost, and you can tuck it in to your arsenal to play again on your next turn. And next up is Channel Lightning Valley and Lightning Press, which are instants, so they do work with Gone in a Flash. However, it's a bit of a non-bow, so you kind of have to choose whether you want to play it before damage and get the effect, but you don't get the Gone in Flash back. So for example, you play Lightning Press, Gone in Flash asks you whether you want to return it back to hand or not. If you say you do, the +3 doesn't matter. It's because it's before damage and you get the Gone in Flash back to hand. Or you say, I don't want to bounce my Gone in Flash, and you get the +3, but you don't return the Gone in Flash back to hand. Even if you play another instant after you play Lightning Press, it does not work because Gone in Flash only interacts with the first instant that you play on that chain link. And similar case for Channel Lightning Valley. If you play Gone in Flash, they don't block. If you play Channel Lightning Valley before damage, you get to draw the card, but no Gone in Flash back to hand. But if you play it after damage and they did not block, well, you get the Gone in Flash back to hand, but you didn't really get a card off of your Channel Lightning Valley. So these two, you kinda hate to see it, but the best case scenario that you want to see when you have Channel Lightning Valley to combo with your Gone in Flash is they fully block out your Gone in Flash. So when you play it, you're not missing out on the Channel Lightning Valley draw trigger because there was not going to be any damage dealt during that damage step since it was fully blocked. So you can get the Gone in Flash back, and now you have Channel Lightning Valley on the board. So hopefully that's what happens. And lastly is interaction with Embodiment of Lightning and Blink. So if you have Embodiment of Lightning and the instants in your hand are blinks, you don't really need to pop your boots because you will have enough action points from the Go Again generated and the action point generated from the embodiment and the blinks. So those are things that you want to keep in mind when you're comboing. And this is the simplest form of the combo. It's really powerful. It's a 2-card 11, which makes those brutes with their swing big kinda jelly. So this requires you to have an Embodiment of Lightning or another source of Go Again on your Gone in a Flash. So you're coming in for 4 Go Again, and after damage, play it at resolution step. You play Electrostatic Discharge, which bounces your Gone in Flash and gives your next attack +3, which means when you play the Gone in Flash again, it's coming in for 7. So 4 + 7, you're dealing a total of 11 damage with only 2 cards, which is very, very neat if you ask me. And next up is how you can use Gone in Flash to combat fatigue. So when you're not drawing the Electrostatic Discharge, you're drawing any of the other like crappy instants. Well, you can do Gone in Flash, and then you use the instant to bounce the Gone in Flash back, and you can tuck it into your arsenal to do it all over again next turn, which means you're basically turning your 0 power instance, your blues, into a 4 power attack, which means you're really good at combating fatigue because this one Gone in Flash that you recycle over and over is turning your no attack blue pitch cards into 4 power that the opponent needs to deal with their defenses. This is just the icing on the cake why I love Gone in Flash so much. And lastly, I'm going to go through the magical Christmas land where everything lines up. We get to set up our deck however we want. We choose the cards, and this is the dream combo. So on board, we have Tunic with 3 counters, Lightning Greaves that we've already blocked with, so we get the extra 1 block value. We have a Channel Lightning Valley on the board, and our hand plus arsenal is any of the 2 sigils, Blast to Oblivion, 1 Gone in Flash, 1 Electromagnetic Somersault or EMS, and 2 ESDs in hand or arsenal, and our top deck is another ESD. I'll run you through the combo. This is how you execute it. So similar to our normal combo turn, we always use the Tunic resource to pay for the Lightning Greaves activation, so we get to keep all of the cards. We don't need to commit a card to pitch. And then the combo is you play Gone in Flash, and the first instant that you play out of the 4 is the Sigil of Lightning. And if Gone in, at any point any of these attack hits, you get to draw a card from your CLV, which is the last Electrostatic Discharge. So you Gone in Flash, you Sigil, now you have Sigil on board, Gone in Flash back to hand. Next up is you play Blast to Oblivion, and then you play EMS on reactions. It's important for Electromagnetic Somersault that you play it before damage, because if you play it during resolution step, it will not bounce your attack back to hand, which is kind of tricky to remember because most of the time you want to play it on resolution, but for EMS, you want to play it on react. So if you have EMS and Gone in Flash, you basically have the option of playing it whenever, because if you play it on resolution, you still get to choose to bounce Gone in Flash with its own effect. But if you play EMS with any other attack, you need to play it before, because during resolution, it will be too late to create the trigger, because it creates a delayed trigger that only happens during the start of resolution step. All the triggers get put on the layers or the stack, and when you play it there, well, it can't generate it right then and there. You have to play it before. So yeah, basically you play Blast to Oblivion, and then you play EMS, which bounces the Sigil that you played before. Now you have Sigil back in hand, and on resolution, you get your Blast to Oblivion back to hand. So after dealing 8 damage and probably drawing a card, the only card that you lost was EMS. All Gone in Flash, Sigil, and Blast to Oblivion are back in your hand. Continuing on, after EMS, you play the Gone in Flash again with the Sigil again during resolution, bouncing the Gone in Flash back to hand. Next up, you play a Blast. Okay, so after playing Electrostatic Discharge with Blast to Oblivion on the stack, you bounce the Sigil again, and then you play your Gone in Flash, and then during resolution, you play the Sigil for the 3rd time this turn, and you get your Gone in Flash back to hand. At this point, you have 2 Electrostatic Discharge in your hand and 1 Gone in Flash, and then so you just do it twice. Gone in Flash, hit, on resolution, you play your Electrostatic Discharge, bouncing Gone in Flash back, play it again, Electrostatic Discharge again, and lastly, the only card left in your hand is Gone in Flash. Swing it back down for an extra 7 damage. So in total, this turn we dealt 4 plus 4 from Blast, another 4 from Gone in Flash, 4 from Blast to Oblivion, and then 7 from the Gone in Flash, 4 from Gone in Flash again after the Sigil of Lightning, and then 2 7-powered Gone in Flash. So obviously this is really, really hard to set up. Basically kind of impossible to have everything line up exactly this way to deal 41 damage and Embodiment of Lightning for next turn. However, it's still doable and feasible with any other instant in place of electrostatic discharge. You just deal 3 less damage for each instance of a card that is replacing your electrostatic discharge. So for example, if you replace the 3 ESDs with 3 blinks, you go down by 9 damage for a total of 32 damage during your big combo turn, which is still very, very impressive. And it's not too hard to come up with 1 Gun and Flash and 1 Sigil and 1 Blast. So you can mix and match your combo pieces, your instance with other instance, but this is what I can come up with for the maximum damage that you can do with a 5-card hand, CLV on board, Tunic ready, and your Greaves. Hopefully this explains how you can combo with Aurora using Garnet Flash and Instance. And be sure to build the deck. Don't forget to check the deck tech update that I did recently and play out your Aurora games. That's it for me for today. And as always, sampai goodbye.